What's going on YouTube? It's the Natural Born Gorilla, and welcome to All Wrestling Review, the show from July 29th, 2020, where it tends to giving you AEW Dynamite results. You have your commentators, good old JR Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Taz. And there's a reason why Taz was on commentary, but before I get to that, also they were in, obviously, Jacksonville, Florida, in Daly's place, and a lot of football on the show here. I'll let you know how about the show once we get to it. But first, let's talk about what happened with why Excalibur was not on the show tonight. From this past week, where it tends to be on Dynamite on commentary with Jim Ross and Tony Schiavone, and why Taz was on commentary instead. But be honest with you folks, if Chris Jericho was on commentary after what happened, tends to who was the curtain jerker of the show, it would have been awesome. I didn't mind Taz being on commentary because on commentary, Taz is also very underrated and very good on commentary. But for the reasons why he was on commentary is because of the whole situation that happened years ago. I guess about 15 to 16 years ago, I guess, where it tends to happen with Excalibur and WWE superstar Kevin Owens. At the time, Excalibur and Kevin Steen of at PWG, which was Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, where there was a video footage that was pulled out from a fan, and I'm assuming it was shared online on Twitter, Facebook, whatever. And we know the clip was on YouTube, but it's never been acknowledged until a fan decided to reveal it. Where it pertains to Excalibur cutting a promo. After he cut the promo, Kevin Owens, at the time Kevin Steen, cut a promo too. And you're probably wondering what was this whole thing had to do with this whole situation. Well, for those who do know, know the situation. But for those who don't know, that don't know the situation, here's the situation. Apparently, Excalibur was doing a wrestling promo towards an African American using the N-word. And then Kevin Owens, at the time Kevin Steen, said the exact same thing after this person. After Excalibur. And there was another person too, by the way, that was with them. I don't know what that person said it too, because all it revealed on the video was Excalibur saying it, and then off camera, you hear someone saying the N-word too, which it was obviously, I know that voice too. That was the voice of Kevin Owens. And that's why AEW decided to pull out, Excalibur out of Dynamite because of that whole situation. I'm assuming it was aired on the same day that Dynamite. Not day. Not Dynamite. The same day that AEW Dark was out. Was reposted. I'm assuming, because I didn't hear about this news until after the show's over of Dynamite. Basically, it was trending on Twitter of why that whole situation why Excalibur wasn't there. He wasn't even acknowledged. They didn't bring up his name. And how I feel about this? Look, it's not right saying the N-word, especially pertains to saying that to an African American, especially if you're Caucasian and you're saying that to an African American, in a hateful way. And what he did there, Excalibur and Kevin Owens saying the N-word to that African American wrestler. I don't know who that wrestler is, by the way. That African American wrestler, I have no idea who he is, but it was basically the way to get heat, because they're heels. Excalibur and Kevin Owens at the time, again Kevin Steen, were playing heels, and they wanted to draw heat, and that was their best. I guess in their ways, that was the best way to do it. But at the same time, in this day and age, you can't be saying those type of things, because you'll be labeled as a racist. You'll be labeled someone that people will look at you differently, and people will look at you in a way that they don't want to have anything to do with you. They'll hate you. They'll despise you. And it's not a good thing. I don't condone those type of words saying that to but unless if it's their own race, that's all right. But when it pertains to other races that will say that to the African Americans, that's not cool, especially towards hate. Now, do I think Excalibur should be punished for that? No, because that was said years ago, and besides, that was part of a wrestling angle. And you're probably saying to yourself, well, what's the difference between Excalibur saying it and Kevin Owens? Basically, let's get that out of the way. What's the difference between Excalibur and Kevin Owens saying this years ago than what Hulk Hogan said years ago too? There's a big difference. Excalibur and Kevin Owens, they said this during a wrestling angle. They did Rotations to gain heat when Rotations to come to wrestling promo. They did it on a wrestling show. Hulk Hogan, on the other hand, he said that behind the recording of him not acknowledging that he's being recorded, with him saying all these racial slurs. And Excalibur has apologized about it. I'm not talking about recently he apologized. I'm talking about that I guess a couple of years ago after that whole incident. He apologized for that, and I think Kevin Owens may apologize too. I don't know. Or I heard about Excalibur. I heard about his apology from years ago. After that whole incident from PWG. But Kevin Owens, I haven't heard much of him. I didn't get a chance to look at it. Look it up to see that whole situation too. If he apologized too from years ago, or recently apologized for that. And I don't know how that's going to bite him in the ass, Kevin Owens, or seems to be him, be with the WWE. But AEW Excalibur, it's unfortunately he's paying the price of it, but he's taken off TV. How long is that going to be? I don't know. If is it going to be fine? I don't know. Is it going to be suspended? I don't know. I don't know what his punishment is going to be, but this is the start of his punishment. They took him off of Dynamite, and we're waiting to see what more updates of it coming up. Because as of right now, I haven't heard any updates of it whatsoever. But the point is, there's a big difference between what Excalibur and Kevin Owens said years ago during a wrestling show than what Hulk Hogan said behind him being recording, with again him not being acknowledged that him being recorded of the things he was saying. That's a big difference. And also another difference, I'll retain the whole apology thing. Hulk Hogan, he really did not apologize. He didn't give out his real apology. Where it to what he said. All I remember him saying is that be careful being recorded, people, because you never know for the things you say, you might get caught from it. Basically, be careful. Be careful next time. Be very careful where it pertains to someone recording you, because you never know when someone you get caught under that, right? So, I don't remember how he said it, but the point is that wasn't an apology. Hulk Hogan didn't apologize for his actions of what he said, and I'm pretty sure Excalibur and Kevin Owens felt that same way too, where of what they said in the wrestling angle, that they had to apologize for that too. So, but it's whatever, it is what it is. But yeah, Excalibur, unfortunately, he was taken off TV because of that. I don't know if he's gonna be back next week. I know one thing: he's gonna be part of AEW Dark. I think someone else will take his spot on AEW Dark, since he was taken off on that week when they did when they did the live show of Dynamite. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So that's what I want to say for that. And now we can move on, because we get to the opening show with Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Taz doing commentary, as we get the curtain jerker here of Best Friends, Trent and Chuck Taylor, Orange Cassidy, Luchasaurus, and Jungle Boy. Excuse me, Jungle Boy, being accompanied by Marcos Stunt Grove. First is the Inner Circle: Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, Santana Ortiz of Proud and Powerful, and the return of the Spanish guard on Dynamite, in ring return to say the least on Dynamite, Sammy Guevara. And this is what I mean, where it pertains to Taz doing commentary for this curtain jerker where Chris Jericho's in. And I can't get why too and all. That will happen later on. But because Taz was going to be managing Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. We'll get to that why he didn't manage them. And I thought the way they did it, it should have been where the opportunity where they could have Chris Jericho on commentary. With the whole 1 hour could be for Taz, and then the second hour could be for Chris Jericho, because Chris Jericho on commentary is pure gold, and it's a shame we didn't get that on that day. But the match itself between the faces versus the heels in the match was pretty good. The show. I hate Marco Stonegrove getting involved, and then he starts dancing. He didn't do the flaws, but he was dancing. I'm like, get him off my TV. Oh my god, I can't stand that kid. And apparently his birthday passed by, so I guess now he's 13 years old. So, but nevertheless, happy late birthday to Marco Stunkler. But the match ended with Sammy Guevara being distracted by unfamiliar music, which it was Matt Hardy's music. And then all of a sudden, Sammy Guevara gets distracted. Matt Hardy comes on our apron. He blindsides Sammy Guevara by basically shoving him off the ropes. Top rope, because Sammy Guevara was going to end it with the 450 splash. And then he gets chokeslammed by Luchasaurus, a roundhouse kick, and Luchasaurus gets the win over Sammy Guevara. So yeah, I guess they're still going to try to build this whole feud, to pick up where they left off between Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara. After what happened with Sammy Guevara, with him being suspended, after the things he said in 2016, which it was not called for him to be suspended. But AEW, for that they had to do what they gotta do. But it's whatever. So yeah, we're back to that one now. And as far as Matt Hardy is concerning, Matt Hardy said something about on his YouTube channel that he's not gonna be doing his gimmick no more. Or pertains to the broken Matt Hardy, Dementry. No, not Dementry. I'm forgetting on that name for his broken character. But the point is, broken Matt Hardy, no more. Big Money Matt, no more. Hardy Boy Matt Hardy, no more. Hopefully, we still get Hardy Boy Matt Hardy. I don't know if we are or not, but version 1 Matt Hardy, V1 now, the Sensei of Matitude. We're just gonna get regular Matthew Hardy. I think that's good. It's gonna be Matthew Hardy, I guess. But the point is, why is this going on with Matt Hardy? Because Matt Hardy feel like what pertains to doing it on AEW Dynamite every weekly in front of no crowds, in front of no real crowds, which is unfortunate because of the whole pandemic. Matt Hardy, wanted to hear the delete chants, what pertains to the entire the unity of crowds chanting delete, 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 and we can't get that. Unfortunately, we can't get that because there's no crowds there. So Matt Hardy decided to end it for now, but doesn't mean it's gone. We're still going to be seeing it on his YouTube channel, the Matt Hardy brand. We're going to be seeing it on Being the Elite after we saw with Big Money Matt, and it basically broke with Big Money Matt, and also what pertains to AEW Dark. I'm pretty sure we're going to get that too. What pertains to Big Money Matt, Matt Hardy in a way. With those different hopefully we'll still get that. What pertains to him managing, Private Party, the Hardy Party. That whole combination. So yeah, I kind of understand where Matt Hardy is going for with that one, and we'll see how that goes with with regular Matt Hardy against Sammy Guevara, which I'm pretty sure is going to happen at All Out. We get to Jon Moxley, the AEW World Champion, said he tries to stay out of people's business. If people leave him alone, he'll leave them alone. He thought he was done with Brian Cage, but then Ricky Starks him start beating up on Darby Allin. He calls Ricky Starks a punk bitch and a bully for jumping Darby Allin from behind, the way he did, and the way he basically overshot him, or in a way, overdid it in a way. And he says that he wants to see how they do when they had the odds, even. So, and that'll be the main event, and we'll get to that later. Because up next we get to the incomplete TNT Championship between the incomplete champion Cody Rhodes with Arn Anderson in his corner versus the debut of one of the top of the indie town, Warhorse. I don't know much about Warhorse. I heard about Warhorse being being the opponent for Cody for this episode of AEW Dynamite. After seeing Warhorse, I can understand the appeal of Warhorse. Basically, he's the indie Ultimate Warrior, except he's not running to the ring and doing the shaking the ropes thing like the Ultimate Warrior is. But I could see the charisma of Ultimate Warrior, the personality of Ultimate Warrior, the persona of Ultimate Warrior, and the whole Ultimate Warrior vibe I could see in Warhorse. And I saw his, I don't remember if I seen his promo, but I heard his promo is almost like the same promos like Ultimate Warrior. Now, as far as the match between Cody and Warhorse, Warhorse, he looked good in the ring, but I wasn't that impressive of Warhorse. And this match itself didn't do anything for me, unfortunately. But it was still a good competitive match. If Warhorse is going to be there on AEW, I want to see more of him. That way, I could feel what people are feeling of Warhorse. And also because of the show itself, I wasn't feeling the show that much either. Doesn't mean it was a bad show. I just wasn't feeling the show that much, anyways. But that's not here or there. In the end, Cody ends up winning. He put on the figure 4 leg lock, same way how he beat Eddie Kingston. Which, by the way, I can say it right now, folks. Eddie Kingston is now officially signed to AEW. I love it. I'm glad they did that because we don't know the situation what's going to happen with NWA moving forward. Because apparently they're not going to be doing any shows for NWA in 2020 because of the pandemic, unfortunately. So Eddie Kingston, he's now part of AEW, and I thought the sign of him is great because he can talk, he can wrestle, he's got everything in the tools, and he's a veteran in pro wrestling, especially when it comes to the indies. Eddie Kingston is the man, and I'm glad that he's part of AEW, and I'm glad AEW didn't pass up on him. And now AEW has got their own version of Kevin Owens, except for one thing. He is not PG Kevin Owens. He is rated R Kevin Owens. If that makes any sense. But yeah, but Quick got the win. He was gonna give a handshake to Warhorse. Also, and Warhorse just pushes him out of the way because also gonna get John Silver and Alex Reynolds of the Dark Order. It was gonna be up on Cody, but Warhorse basically basically shoved Cody out of the way so that he could protect him and he got beat up for his trouble. But then Cody gets in there, and then all of a sudden, there was no match. All of a sudden, we get the former Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona, Matt Cardona. I don't know how you say his last name, but Matt, his real name, Matt Cardona, Matt Cardona. I did that's how I say it. Matt Cardona. So yeah, Matt Cardona comes out, the former Zack Ryder, and he beats up on Silver and Reynolds, and then basically he yells at the camera saying, "I'm here," and he does his whole Long Island eyes, his Long Island logo. I mean, hand gestures, meant to say. This. Woo woo woo. The whole Long Island thing because he was known as the Long Island IC. And yeah, and then I heard some commentary saying Strong Island. Strong Island, huh? So then he picks up Cody. So it's okay because those two are balloon buddies. And reason why too is because Cody and Brandy introduced Chelsea Green, who's now in WWE, to Zack Ryder at the time, and now those two are a couple. And I'm pretty sure you already know that too. But yeah, so yeah, he's now officially arrived to AEW, and I love it. I guess Brian Myers is going to be doing his own thing on Impact Wrestling, and you got Matt Cardona going to be doing his own thing in AEW. And we got to see what both of them separately can do from different brands, different companies, and what they can do to bring to the table. I know what Matt Cardona could bring to the table. Brian Myers, he's a decent wrestler, but he's nowhere near the cast member wrestler like Matt Cardona is right now. Mm-hmm. So Brian Myers, whatever he's going to be doing on Impact Wrestling, I can't wait to see it. But at the same time, not that invested. Nothing against him, no. But there you go. We get Tony Schiavone talking to the inner circle, where it pertains to the group are in a foul mood, and Chris Jericho says in 2 weeks they're by the way they Tony Schiavone was on stage by the way but I think he was going to talk about something about All Out, and then also that's when Jericho and the rest of the inner circle came out. So yeah, so Jericho says 2 weeks there will be a rematch between himself and Orange Cassidy, and Sam Guevara calls Matt Hardy a son of a bitch, and he's not done with him yet. Basically, he's not finished with him. And Jericho says that next week he's going to have a debate against Orange Cassidy. Like a like one of those presidential debates. That's basically what it's going to be. And also like the whole debate that Scott Steiner and Christopher Nowinski did back in WWE. I believe it was on Raw. I'm pretty sure it was on Raw because Scott Steiner was on Raw, and so was Christopher Nowinski. But yeah, and we're gonna have a special guest moderator to referee this whole debate between Chris Jericho and Sam Guevara. I mean, Orange Cassidy, excuse me. Now, I know Chris Jericho could debate his ass off. Orange Cassidy, never ever see him debate, but he's gonna try, and when he tries, he's gonna prevail. And we got to see what he brings to the table, which is to the whole debate between himself and Chris Jericho. And I cannot wait to see that next week. As we get to the official signing of FTR on AEW, because they were not really signed to AEW until this finally has been confirmed, because if they want to go after the tag team titles on AEW, and on top of that, they can't go anywhere else anyways. No NWA, no other indie promotions they can't go. It is what it is. The pandemic, blame the pandemic, and blame someone who didn't take the pandemic seriously, our president. But FTR is they talk to their lawyers and all that, and they also bring in Arn Anderson as their advisor. So Arn Anderson, is talking to them privately, that. And by the way, Tony Schiavone is the moderator of this whole meeting. And FTR says October 12th. I mean, October. No, that we don't want to wait that long. On August 12th, for the tag team titles, it's gonna be tag team appreciation night, and it's gonna be hosted by FTR. And then we get Hangman Adam Page, right out of nowhere. He brought some whiskeys, for to drink with Arn Anderson, FTR. But Arn Anderson's like, I'm not gonna have a drink because he doesn't drink anymore, folks. So he decided to pour onto who was it? To Dax or Cash? I'm trying which one of the two. FTR. So then, meanwhile, while they're having a short glass of drink, Hangman Adam Page with his with his shot glass, he poured himself to the very top with the whiskey. Oh my god! So they drink to that celebration of them officially signing to AEW. So yeah, Hangman Adam Page, and FTR, Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood. I want those guys to be together. I want those guys to be a faction with someone else too. I don't know, something on that's kind of similar to something like this. Just saying. But there you go. I love it. I love it. Oh yeah. So we get to the tag team championship match, AEW World Tag Team Championship. You get the Dark Order, Evil Uno and Stu Grayson versus the AEW World Tag Team Champions, the Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega. And basically, yeah, Adam Page already jumping into the ring to be up on the two members of the Dark Order, Evil Uno and Grayson. Also, Kenny Omega comes out and he's looking a little shocked and all that, and then also he gets in the ring because he's a little upset that the Hangman is doing this on his own and not while his partner and everything. And then we finally get things under control, and then we get this type of match going on. Meanwhile, Colt Cabana joining on commentary, who didn't really say much. And Mr. Brody Lee, the Exalted One, and also you had who's wearing a mask and an outfit to mix well with our Dark Order, Anna Jay. I wish there was some follow up about that whole situation. Why NJ is part of the Dark Order now, instead of what they did a few weeks ago or a month ago in a way, where we're gonna have you be in the Dark Order, and they're not gonna do any video vignettes of it. Not even on being the elite. We're just gonna recruit you, and then you're gonna appear out of nowhere without any stories. That was a letdown. But it was nice to see NJ there. And yes, so NJ is the first woman wrestler to be part of the Dark Order. Is that going to mean anything at the end of the day? No. I'm waiting for if he decides to come to AEW, I'm waiting for Eric Redbeard, the former Eric Rowan, to come to AEW to join the Dark Order. I don't know if we're gonna get that yet, but hopefully we do. I can only hope. But as far as the tag team match was, pretty good tag team match. At the end of the day, obviously I knew who was going to win this tag team match. It was very predictable, but it was still a good tag team match. In the end, it was the Hangman and the Kenny Omega winning the match with the V trigger buckshot lariat combination, the last call. That's the move onto Evil Uno, and they got the win. And still, the AEW World Tag Team Champions, Omega and Page. After the match, you have Brody Lee telling Colt Cabana and NJ to leave, as Brody Lee is yelling on top of his lungs. He's got his roll of paper, and then he hits Stu. He hits Evil Uno with it. Bam, like he did on Being the Elite as well. And then also he orders the Dark Order from around the ring. That was running around the ring to get in the ring to beat up on Omega and Page. Also, we get the Young Bucks coming out of the sections, because they were in the sections, by the way, and they get into the ring to try to make things a little even. And as the Dark Order are going to get in there, all of a sudden we see FTR with their coolers, and they bash it to Brody Lee. They get in the ring, and then they fall the entire Dark Order. So yes, FTR working together with the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and the Hangman and Page, and I loved it. Shiv Baker was being interviewed. I didn't care, but apparently she's gonna have a big swole wrestle opponent of her choosing. I'm assuming next week, but again, I don't care. I don't care about Shiv Baker anyways. We get the Parcel video vignette. She says she's been busting her ass on the indie scene for years, basically 10 years. She said. I remember she said 10 years, and she says, but a win over Shida will shoot her to the top of the rankings, which it would. She also says the other women should fear her because she's got nothing to lose and everything to prove. As they say, pursue, make diamonds, and that was it. A good promo there from Dion Purrazzo, and yes, she has busted her ass, especially when it pertains to her time in Impact Wrestling. I've seen her improve a lot more after her Impact run. Unfortunately, for a reason why Impact Wrestling didn't want to do it for anymore. Hopefully, she's officially signed to AEW. I don't know if she is signed to AEW yet, but she's there in AEW where it pertains to of everything that's going on in the world right now. Hopefully, they sign her because you already got Eddie Kingston, you got Santana Ortiz, and getting Diamante, excuse me. That'll be a good fit. What I'm basically trying to say here is that Santana Ortiz, I think it's time for them to break away from Inner Circle and have them be with Eddie Kingston and Diamante, and do your own version of LAX. Sorry about that, folks. But yeah, so we get to this match, a non-title match between the AEW Women's World Champion Hikaru Shida versus Diamante. And the match itself, I thought it was good. I think this match may have been much better than last week's match between Diamante and Ivelisse. But yeah, I enjoyed this match very, very well. In the end, obviously, Hikaru Shida gets the win. But I love the performance that Diamante had on the show here against the AEW Women's World Champion. We get to the rules of the AEW Women's Tag Team Cup Tournament. And the rules are, the tournament is a random draw. All competitors must draw a color. Matching colors will be a team. Will become a team. And selections are final and can't be applied. Appealed, I meant to say. So we have Nyla Rose with Vicky Guerrero, and they're being interviewed by Dasha Gonzalez. And Nyla Rose says she drew, Nyla Rose basically she drew a purple, I think it was a purple ball, whatever. And then Dasha said, oh, someone else drew purple too. And here comes someone who's I cannot believe that AEW even thought of signing her. The former Cameron, the former Funkadactyl, the former WWE diva, Ariane Andrew. And she came in and she says, girl, hi. And that was it. AEW, your job is to find scouter, the best women's wrestlers to build up your women's AEW women's roster. And you brought in Ariane Andrew. Let me tell you something, AEW. There's something you should know about Ariane Andrew when she was known as Cameron in WWE. And here's the one thing that you need to know about her. Where it tends to her being in the same category like Ship Baker. In the ring, she's garbage. Garbage. She did a match with Naomi, who's also a former member of the Funkadactyl. And it was a few at the time. It was a time to break them up because Naomi was the very a talent in that group. But you had at the time Cameron doing a split leg on Naomi on her back, by the way, and she's telling the ref to cover, go for the count. Referee's like, no, I can't, and she's like, count, and like she's got to be on her back, shoulders down. Now it was a good split legged, but at the same time, she's got to be one of the most dumbest wrestlers ever, thinking that you could pin your opponent while they're on their stomach. It doesn't work that way. And she knows the rules. And keep in mind, this is the same, Cameron, Ariane Andrew. This is the same girl who said her favorite wrestling match of all time, about in WWE, her favorite match of all time was Melina and Alicia Fox. Unless those two women had a 5-star match, I can believe that. Last I checked, I never thought I ever see Melina and Alicia Fox having a match where it's going to be a 5-star match. Unless they're wrestling on like how Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect wrestle at SummerSlam, or how Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels wrestle at WrestleMania, or how Ric Flair and Macho Man Samus has wrestled. Except with no blood. How Macho Man Savage and Ric Flair wrestle on WrestleMania, or how Ultimate Warrior Hulk Hogan wrestle at WrestleMania. Sorry, folks. I don't know. I don't know if it's dust or not, but the point is she sucks. This is your best solution to build the women's division in AEW? Ariane Andrew? You gotta be kidding me. No Amber O'Neil. Who else out there that are itching to wrestle? They want to be they want to be out there on TV to show that they can go in the ring. There are a lot of women out there that are way more talented than Ariane Andrew. You gotta be kidding me. And yes, she's been gone for a while, but guess what? There's a reason why she's been gone for a while, because she hasn't been wrestling all that long after she was gone from WWE. Keep in mind, she was fired from WWE. Now, was it wrong that WWE fired her on the way that she got fired? Yes, it was wrong that the WWE fired her in the wrong way, because she agreed with Ryback about something that Ryback said. But that's no reason to fire her and all that. And then you see what she did after WWE. She has been wrestling anywhere. So this is a downgrade to an AEW Women's Wrestling division. Ariane, I was gonna say Grande, because her name is kind of like Ariana, but it's Ariane Andrews. Unbelievable. Sorry, I'm going along with this, folks. I gotta get out of here. I got something to do. But yeah, that's also a downgrade for not a Rose 2 hour. MJF comes out. He's heading to the ring. He's got a state of industry. Yeah, the state of industry address to do. Basically, it's like a presidential candidate, something like that. That and it also reminds me of EC3 back in 2016. I believe it was 2016 because I remember he became champion on that year. And at the time TNA. So he let fans, or marks, knows how dumb they are, and then he gives a speech. About it, before we get to the whole speech thing, he was, behind, doing the Goldberg entrance, by the way, showing him from backstage, walking, and then he's see security and all that. And he's like, he's praising just the securities, and then he gets out there. He's shaking hands with people on stage and everything. I think that's supposed to be his higher level securities worker. And then he gets the hand sanitizer after shaking the hands with Jim Ross, Taz, and Tony Schiavone, I think. I think he was shaking hands with the commentators. I could be wrong, but. And then he goes to to the fans. Well, not real fans, but you know what I mean. And then we get to this one crowd holding a fake baby. A fake baby. You could obviously see it was a fake baby. Like who believes that was a real baby? And then he kisses the fake baby. At least JBL kissed a real baby back in 2014. I mean, back in 2014. I wish we were back in 2014, by the way. Not this year. This is a trouble year. But what I was trying to say, 2004. JBL kissed a real baby in 2004. When he became WWE champion. Either he was going to become WWE champion, or he already became WWE champion. And he's shaking hands with everyone, all that, because he's now a new champion, all that, and he's kissing babies. He actually kissed a real baby. But I could also kind of understand too, because the pandemic thing, that it's whatever. But I thought that was stupid though, the whole baby thing. All right, let's get back to the promo. So he gives his speech. He mentions hashtag MJF 2020 and not my champion. And you know where he's going with that one too, by the way. Braun Strowman. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not just kidding. All seriousness. I'll get to him though. MJF says there's a reason why he's not given the spotlight for 2 weeks in a row, and that's because a certain someone doesn't want the spotlight for himself. He wants, a certain someone doesn't want the spotlight taken from him. That's meant to say. MJF talks about there needing to be a change. One in particular, call for a paradigm shift, which means he returns to again, not my champion whole thing, to Eddie Edwards. No, I'm just kidding too, but I wish to. At the same time, I wish to. But yeah, we heard me say paradigm shift. Yeah, I know who I'm talking about at this point. AEW has gone from a revolution to a dictatorship because of a guy like Jon Moxley. There we go. Can do whatever he wants and face whoever he wants. MJF admits Moxley is the one of the best in the world, but says there's been a lot of negative side effects since Moxley has become champion. MJF says wrestling has gone down the hill as a wrestler come out and flip flop and fly until they die. Fans are now brainwashed that those things are what makes a good professional. MJF says he doesn't have to play wrestler because he is one, and because he's undefeated also. And just talks about the ratings, and he's actually draws better minute by minute than Dictator John, which he's referencing John Moxley. Continues that Moxley um wants to wants that out though. He says the old guard is what has hurt socialized in the past, and that's exactly what is happening on with Moxley. Says that he's the one who will be leading AEW for the next 25 years. He bleeds black, white, and blue. I mean, let me say this again. He bleeds black, white, and gold. Meant to say, because that's the colors of AEW, obviously. He says that AEW needs to transform itself to the pinnacle of professional wrestling. Then challenges John Moxley for a title that he says he'll see him at All Out. And all I say is, MJF is one of the best promos in AEW, and this was a very good promo from MJF. And I guess, yep, they're going for it. All Out. It's going to be John Moxley and MJF. But before we get to that, there's something else that's happening too, which I'm assuming that's what they're building up for. Before we get to John Moxley versus MJF for the AEW World Championship. Now, announcements for next week. Chris Jericho to debate Orange Cassidy with a special guest moderator. We get Cody and Matt Cardona. Waiting for sounds to pass by. I apologize for that. Yeah. Cody and Matt Cardona versus John Silver and Alex Reynolds of the Dark Order next week. MJF update next week. Also next week will be a 12-man tag team match. FTR, Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood. Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. The AEW World Tag Team Champions, the Hangman Page, and Kenny Omega versus the Dark Order. And I cannot wait. Now we get to the main event. John Moxley and Darby Allin versus Brian Cage and Ricky Starks being coming by Taz in a no disqualification tornado tag team match. Before we get to that, first Darby Allin's music hits, but he no show. Then we get John Moxley coming out, and we're wondering what happened with Darby Allin. So also we get to Taz talking about how Darby Allin is not here tonight because he's got his ass kicked last week. Taz then hypes up Brian Cage a bit before Ricky Starks takes the microphone, and once he got the microphone, Taz went back to his commentary booth, and then Ricky Starks starts coming promo. Ricky Starks says, basically he first taunts John Moxley, and then he says that Brian Cage and oh wait a minute, this isn't the promo. Are you kidding me? One moment, folks. Sorry about that, folks. Ah, I can't believe this, man. So basically, what I could try to remember how his promo was that he was basically mocking John Moxley and basically talk about how he's so good. Where chance to describing himself how good he is and how charismatic he could be and everything. But man, it's not here, unfortunately. Just it's unbelievable. But I don't want to waste any more time here. So yeah, let me end this now. So the match happens. As Brian Cage and Ricky Starks comes out, all of a sudden, from above, Darby Allin with a coffin drop on top of Brian Cage and Ricky Starks, and the match didn't start until they got in the ring. And once they got in the ring, that's the match officially started. But at the same time, it's supposed to be those qualifications trying to tag, but whatever. But they did they had a lot of weapons in the match. Like trash cans, chairs, a pipe. I think a pipe. I can't remember if it's a pipe or not. But yeah, but it was a back and forth match. And then all of a sudden, we get to this part that I did not like happening on Ricky Starks. So Ricky Starks, we have Darby Allin with his skateboard with thumbnails. I mean thumbtacks, meant to say thumbtacks attached to it, from under the board, and he goes through his skateboard off the top rope onto the back of Ricky Starks, meant to say double foot stomp with the skateboard, with the thumbtacks going to be scraping him in the back, and the way it was done, it was like not only it landed on him, but then slide off, and then Ricky Starks was in the. I could tell he was in the grooves of pain there, and then that's how the match ended with Darby Allin pinning Ricky Starks. So Darby Allin and John Moxley wins the match, and then after the match, Darby Allin's looking at John Moxley's title, and I guess Darby Allin is going to get a shot at a title next week against John Moxley, where it pertains because Darby Allin is number 5 ranking. He's number 5 ranking against John Moxley, and it's gonna be official next week. John Moxley defends his AEW World Title match. He will defend his AEW World Title against Darby Allin. Now, before I end this, just want to say, AEW, I do not appreciate you doing that to Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks should not be in that type of wrestling match. He should not be taking that type of spot. That was stupid. I did not like that at all, and I can't believe. No, here's the thing. I think Ricky Starks, didn't think something like that was gonna happen to him. But Ricky Starks, he should have played politics there. That was not good. That was not good. I didn't like that spot at all. To me, it did a disservice to Ricky Starks' body there. Unbelievable, man. It really baffled me there. I got pissed off. Hopefully they don't do that to him again, because that was ridiculous. Ricky Starks does not need to do that. He's way too talented, and he's got he's got so much charisma, so much persona, so much personality. He's got the an entire package going for him right now in professional wrestling, and he shouldn't be doing that type of spot. He shouldn't be taking that type of spot. That was ridiculous. Ridiculous. Talking about wrestling with 5 matches. Overall rating for the show, 6.5 out of 10. I wasn't feeling the show at all. I mean, there was some good matches on the show, but the show didn't do much for me. It's what it is, With that being said, thank you for watching, folks. I'm gonna get out here. So, that's for now. For It's Natural Born Thriller, saying peace on the streets. This is your only wrestling review, but this is giving AEW Dynamite results from July 29th, 2020. Until next time, folks, stay well, stay safe, take care of yourself, everything that's going on in the world. Wear your mask and learn to love and learn to live in harmony and just be a better person. Make that change. So yeah. You all take care. I'm out.